Hi guys, Togo here with a new video, and this video will be a recap of my 1 to 60 playthrough with my mage. So, as you know, I'm making a series where I kind of give a sort of long tutorial to the new players, but also like veterans that are going to jump into PvP or even PvE. And I'm actually now level 60, and I'm going to talk about the leveling process that is World of Warcraft currently today. So the leveling was quite fast, and it picked up really quickly around level 30, something like that. I think it was like made on purpose that the first few levels are quite slow. Like even the leveling, like dungeons or what, like a dungeon could level you like 1 level, maybe 2, depending if you have quests or not. And it was very slow, like to just play, I would say. And it picked up at level 30, and like every single zone I was doing, or even in every single like dungeon I was making, I got like 3 levels of it, or 4 levels, and sometimes even fast dungeons, like 10-minute dungeons runs. And it was very, very fast. Like we leveled super rapidly. And I must say that at one point, like I said in the series, I was about to just level through quests with vanilla, but I kind of stopped. I went for full-on dungeon. The reason is I think the leveling process is just not fun in retail. I think that's also a big part on why people are actually not sticking. Like as a new player, I would say during the leveling from 1 to 70, because the leveling is like very alone, it's very lonely. You don't see any other like hordes if you're alliance, so the PvP, there is no PvP action, for example, or you don't even see like allies like running with you. Like it is like a very solo RPG kind of leveling process, and it's very daunting, especially if you are like coming from other MMOs, but also just generally if you're playing classic and you start to play retail. I think you will be having fun because of these spells, because of the classes, because maybe some dungeons are quite fun to do, but leveling as a whole is very, very lonely. It's not really fun. I think if they actually are going to rework the leveling process for the next expansion, I would say that making a streamlined leveling process, I would say streamlined by everyone is regrouped around the same zones, even from level 1, it would help immensely because you would see a lot more players around you. And with phasing and with the cross-server technology, they could really make it a lot less lonely. Right now, it does feel too lonely. It also feels like there is no one in the world, like especially if you're like in war mode like me, and you want to sometimes PvP, the BGs are not like popping as often, but also just there is no action like world PvP wise. And if you're like on classic, normally on the classic server, which is normally like fresh, often not, there is a lot of PvP going on. But right now with retail, there is no PvP going on. I know that all the action is in Dragonflight, because I leveled through Dragonflight with multiple tunes. But I feel like the game should not start at level 60 to 70. Like, and even then, I still think that the game really wants you to play at level 70. I feel like the game is starting at level 70, and I think that is a whole mistake that they're actually making. That's why a lot of people are actually enjoying classic, because it is feeling like a complete game. In Wrath of the Lich King, it's a bit different. I feel like Wrath of the Lich King was the start of, look, endgame is everything. But that's why classic, like vanilla, is the most popular expansion, I would say, most complete game out of all the expansions. The world is super big, but also the world is still big, but you see a lot of people around you. Right now, the world is, I would say, even smaller, and you still don't see a lot of people around you. And right now, for the leveling part, the world is super big, but you don't have a lot of players, so it feels really lonely. So that's my take. There is also no real tutorial for dungeons, for example, no tutorial for PvP. There is nothing actually explaining to the player base what they're supposed to do. And I think that's a huge mistake. And that's why I'm making this series, by the way, because I want to actually educate a lot of people, like during the leveling process, during the PvP and during the Mythic pluses I'm going to do. Like actually explaining what is actually a Mythic Plus, what is actually a PvP arena match, what is a BG, what is an RBG. All those things are just not explained, and I feel like it can alienate a lot of people, but also just create a lot of frustration for a lot of the player base. Now, is the game fun? I think the game by itself, like the gameplay, is very reactive and it's very fun. And there is a reason why I'm still playing retail, by the way. But I'm also thinking like, am I playing MMORPG solely for the gameplay, or am I also playing MMORPG for the MMO aspect? And a lot of games currently in this era is actually taking like super weird turns for MMORPGs. For example, Lost Ark is also a pretty solo experience if you're leveling. New World 2, like there's a lot of like Guild Wars 2 as well. If you're leveling, it's pretty lonely. Also, their LFG system is even worse than World of Warcraft, for example. I feel like there is no incentive to group up. And it's a bit sad. You can of course do like full dungeons like I did from level 40 to level 60. I think I only did dungeons, and I did some quests here and there whenever I was in the queue, but the queues were not long. I really feel that the game would be a lot better if you actually like had, I don't know, man, it's really easy to put just a tutorial for PvP, and just a tutorial like you have bots like Comstomp, because you have Comstomp, which is a literally a bots versus humans kind of thing. You could really recreate that probably with even players with you, like a real tutorial where you play versus like bots, or you play with bots and against bots, and you learn how to PvP from the start, like objectives, what is mid, do you need to fight at mid or not to get control or not, how are you like proceeded to go to a base, like something very like that exists in multiple games, like even in League of Legends, but also in FPSs, like for example Call of Duty. They have like literally a tutorial to show you how to shoot, or to show you what the objective is, or what you have to do to proceed to other zones, or to come into a building or something. You have a lot of things that actually are meant to be learned, but right now you're just like let loose, and they are like expecting you to just pick it up and play it as if it's intuitive, but it is not. And I think that's a huge mistake. And I want to change that with my series. I don't know if there is a lot of people going to watch the series. That's just part of the nature of a series that is actually targeted to beginners. But it's a 0 to hero still, so we're still going to progress from 0 MMR, 0 Mythic Plus rating, until a point where I have like a respectable rating, or respectable Mythic Plus rating, or even raids. I'm going to show you everything from start to finish, how I search for my build, how I search to learn how to do a Mythic Plus run, or how to do a PvP, like a solo shuffle match, or 2v2 or 3v2, or even RBGs. I'm going to show all of this in this process, but I feel like the content creator should not be the one actually explaining how to play the game. I think the game itself should explain it, and it doesn't need to be long, it doesn't need to be complicated, but like very basic. If you're like on the game and you have group finder, your first thing you can do, instead of bonus battlegrounds and you're like a newbie, you could just put tutorial battleground or whatever, and you click on it, you get some XP for completing it, but very little, because you don't want to spam it, and you just learn from that moment how to PvP. And I think that's a huge thing and a huge miss from Blizzard if they are not implementing it. Same for rating, like they're not explaining how to look up for a group, they're not like explaining how a solo shuffle match goes. Like they're not really explaining a lot. Like it's just trial and error, and in this current state of the game, people are trying things that they don't know, get flamed by people that they know the game, and they are expecting that everyone knows the game, but that's not true. That's why a lot of PvEers are trying PvP, they get smashed, they get flamed, and they're never going to PvP again because it was a miserable experience. And vice versa, PvPers do not want to like deal with the Mythic Plus charade of actually like not like killing a keystone to get like another Mythic plus run. So yeah, I mean they just need to rework something about that, and try to make it better. I would say make it better. Same for dungeons, to be honest. You can group, yeah, you can just find group LFG and you're into a dungeon and you're let loose. Like there is no explanation, and you expect players to actually like explain it to you, which is not going to happen. That's something that will never happen. So my series will be focused around helping those new players, helping veterans that are actually might want to test PvP and test PvE, or both, or even raiding or whatever, or people that actually enjoy like a good 0 to hero like kind of gameplay, because this is a 0 to hero kind of gameplay with a class that I'm really bad at or I never played at. Like for example, Fire Mage, it is really one of the first times where I feel like I'm trying to learn a spec and get good at. Like right now I feel like I get a grip on Fire Mage. Now I do not know if I'm going to be good in PvP as a Fire Mage, because we don't really get a lot of reps in the leveling process. But I'll be learning it. I will watch a lot of videos. I will also link those videos whenever I'm watching it to the video I'm going to make, so you can actually see from where my information came, and try to incorporate it, try to own the Fire Mage spec, and then explain it to you guys how the experience is, or how to improve as a Fire Mage, for example. And I think it's fun to do. Like I'm very happy to do a 0 to hero, but I'm very annoyed by the fact that the game is just not explained for a lot of aspects, which is very sad. But anyways, this is the end of the video. Again, I think it's a great experience. The leveling process from 1 to 60 was fun, because it was like, how long did I play? Like again, I was a lot of AFK on this character, but I did like 11 hours and 12 minutes in total. But I was also a lot of AFK moments as a mage, so I would say it's around 10 hours or 9.3 hours of gameplay, which is still very fast. And then you have level 7 to level 70, it's also going to be very fast. I need to buy Dragonflight on this account though, but I'll be doing that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to explain the 0 to hero a bit more like throughout, and also just going to make you see the improvements, but also just let you see how you can improve very fast in PvE and also in PvP. But anyways, if you like those kinds of videos, please do subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you for the support on these videos. I know that views are a bit down right now for everyone, even for the best streamers and best content creators. The views are down because the game is down right now for a lot of reasons. I made multiple videos about it for PvP. I don't know about PvE, but for PvP right now, the state of the game is not ideal. We will have to see if they are going to work on it or not. I think World of Warcraft is still one of the best, if not the best MMO on the market. Unfortunately, I would probably give a lot of things to have a complete reset on the MMORPG genre and work around that. I really miss the days of Dark Age of Camelot, Warhammer Online, whenever it was really retail. Even Aeon, like you had a lot of great games that gave a lot of competition to World of Warcraft and actually made them better during those times. And whenever those games died, it made World of Warcraft like very lazy in their concept, and they didn't really take a lot of risks, except the worst risks ever, like for example the pruning, or for example the no PvP gearing from Legion to BFA. That was also very terrible, by the way. So I wonder if they're going to set the World of Warcraft experience into the right direction, especially for the new players. I feel like if the marketing is right, you can have a lot of new players or returning players, but those returning players are going to level from 1 to 70, and they're going to feel miserable. Although it's very short, it's going to be still miserable until you're like end game, and then the game kind of starts. But again, do you want to buy the game? and experience only end game, or do you want to have an experience? And right now it is not an experience. It's like going through the motions until you are at your final destination, which is everything but what an MMORPG should be. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and we will catch each other very soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.